Hello and welcome everyone. This is Lavender Sky Panther. Today is Thursday, July 16th, 2020, and today's topic is called Red West, Red East Sky Show, and it's a collection of images and sky observations happening between July 6th and July 13th, 2020. And the time span is going to overlap with the previous show a bit just because there was so much content. I couldn't pack it all in the previous show. So let's see what we've got and let's get going. But before we do, I'd like to just say welcome, good day, osio, how, buongiorno, guten tag, kia ora, jambo, buenos dias, bonjour, ni hao, tien dobre, konnichiwa, dobrohenia, annyeonghaseyo, boa tarde, dobry den, aloha awinala, kalimera, and guten dag. So the little starter image here is just seemed appropriate for the theme of red. It's a northern cardinal sitting on a coconut palm tree frond. It's a little fuzzy, but I think you can make it out. All right, so as we get going today, I'm going to kind of fly through this a little bit faster than my usual shows just because there's a lot to cover and I'd like to keep the show at a decent running time. So there are going to be a lot of these sunset sequences and I'm going to fly through them and just feel free to go back and revisit them on your own when you have a bit more time and study each photo if you wish. So I'll just give you the gist and the overall concept about why I even put them together in this show. So here we go. Looking to the east, what struck me very odd with this is that at the same time we were having a sunset happening to the northwest, in the same time frame, this particular cloud grouping in the southeast kind of was behaving on its own. So it started turning, really bright orange, pink, orange, and it just seemed to be getting brighter by the moment. The more that the sunset to the northwest was getting weaker. So even when to the northwest in the lower right hand corner where I'm pointing, that was fading out, and actually there was not a way that what's happening over here was illuminating this cloud. The cloud seemed to kind of be generating the color on its own. At the base of it, I don't have a photo of it here, but at the base of it there were some pink beams shooting out in both directions low on the horizon. So this was being caused by something either to the southeast in the horizon, or it was generating this color on its own. It's very bizarre. So I'm just kind of, giving you a little reference of what's happening to the northwest. And as we move along too, it's going to be a combo of looking, toward the east and toward the west. So here again, southeast in the upper left, things were getting reddish even as it was fading out. And looking to the northwest, things were really gray, obscuring the red appearance of the red sunset. And looking back to the southeast, things were lightening up, even when to the west they were getting darker. So again, just very odd cloud formations happening here in the lower left-hand frame. And just, really odd activity going on, but I just want to document it and show it to you. And speaking of odd activity, it looked like there was an object here in the northwest in the clouds. So what caught my attention in this photo was not only the dark, extremely dark gray blanket of cloud, which I believe is artificially generated because it comes in exactly at the time of sunset and moves in the direction to obscure the sunset. And this happens also at the sunrise, and it's been happening all over the world. It's not, just unique to my area. But anyway, I was looking up the strange cloud activity here where we get some fuzz outs, we get some just weird shapes, not characteristic of normal cloud activity. And then I noticed this rather solid looking object. So I zoomed in and changed the contrast and color, a few other things, to try to draw out more clearly what's going on over there. And I'm just saying, what is this? Because I didn't really get any good conclusions other than that might be some type of craft, some type of cloaking, actually not really cloaking craft at this point. That might be happening here to the left beyond it, but look at that. And when I zoomed in, I was really puzzled with this one because normally when I do the normal enhancing of the photo to pull things out, I never see anything that looks like this, with this color range with the purple, the red, and the gold, the ochre color. So that was really, really unusual, like this rainbow quality of this. So I'm not sure what that is other than some type of interdimensional or could be physical craft, I don't know. But see what you think and let me know in the comment section below if you have any ideas on that. Alright, so here's a red, orange, yellow, brown, green at west sunset. And again, whenever I see the yellow, brown, and green roll in like this, I've documented on previous shows as well. This screams artificial cloud activity, cloud seeding, something of that nature with sulfur dioxide. It has a very sulfur feel to it when you get into that yellow color. But anyway, of note in this little sequence is in the upper left, you start to see a little bit of a glow beyond the sun source, let's just say, that's kind of got a red tinge to it. And in the lower left, you'll see it here too. So to me, that does look like evidence of a celestial or planetary body, nearby, behind the sun. And again, look at my previous shows on my thoughts on that. There's one called Red Tinged Skies Why. And look at other Earth and Sky watching channels. You'll see too what people are speculating. There must be some type of heavenly body moving into the Earth's neighborhood, let's just say, because we're seeing this red effect more and more consistently, and consistently at sunrise and sunset. And there's, something there to it. So look on your own as much as you can. Start to observe sunrise or sunset or both, and you'll see some interesting things happening as well. Okay, so these other photos just show some of this weird activity happening from what's artificial here. Because if you look up here, we had pure blue sky, and this type of cloud activity only pops up when there's really bad or rough storms, and that was not the case. There's no thunder or lightning, no rain with this thing. And then in the upper right, you even see there's a rainbow popping up seemingly from out of nowhere, like from the ground nearby up into this cloud bank. All of it was just strange. And then looking to the northwest in the lower right-hand corner, you'll see there's huge sky beam being projected. Actually, this one is looking north. Sorry, I put northwest. But off to the left is the northwest, where the sun is supposedly setting. So some object must be in front of it to create this clear beam, and it's not a cloud. All right, more with that sequence. You see again just some of the character of that, generated stuff here, I'll just say. And then look over in the upper right-hand corner. There's a clear line. Look at that. And then it looks like another clear kind of something that has bent form to it overall. Lower left, you can kind of see evidence of that. And then in this bright red-orange glow, you see it too. So the way these clouds are forming to the outside of this object, I'm just calling it object because it does to me look like Cloaking Craft is happening up there, or something's arriving or leaving, let's just say. And then to the other two photos are just of a really odd standalone cloud. Made no sense, didn't look like anything else happening to the southeast. And look at this, the more it's dissipating, the more this like weird yellow glow was picking up beyond it. It was just really odd. And again, that seemed like to be its own light source. It didn't seem to be emanating as glow or reflection from the setting sun. Okay, this is just a standalone image of, again, that weird cloud activity. Now, from what I hear, the scientific community is calling this mammatus clouds. I think it's kind of offensive to people if you look at the origin of that. So I'm just going to call them grape clouds from now on. And again, strange activity. This is looking to the northeast, and again, the sunset would be happening opposite. But this really intense glow, yellowish glow, is not coming from the sunset or an effect of it. Seemed to be generating it on its own from beyond the cloud. And if it were coming from the sunset, then this too, all of this here on the left-hand side, would be gold as well, and it's not. And then we've got this weird swath of a cloud. I'll just put that in quotes because that doesn't really look like a cloud. So I don't know if that's an interdimensional phenomenon happening there. I tend to think so. But something unusual was happening at this moment in time. Okay, speaking of along that frame too, the frame of mind, still looking to the southeast, the upper right-hand photo is the original photo. Looked to be like a sphere with some light shining up behind it, and other weird activity happening in here, and the rainbow is down here to the lower right. So I thought I would zoom in, change the contrast and the hues and the colors a bit just to see if I could see that anything any better, any objects in there. So again, I'm still getting this very clear sphere with disturbance in front of it, big light source that I noted earlier, happening, glowing from within. So I'm not sure what's going on there. And then over here is really weird cloud texture, and if you squint, I have an arrow here that it's a face. To me, it's like a man with dark hair, across his eyes, his nose, and a mustache. And in the lower right, sometimes if you zoom it down to a thumbnail, you see it a little better. Or if you squint at it, you'll see what I'm seeing. If not, that's okay too. You might see something else. But when I reduced it, actually, this one I see kind of a quarter, three-quarter turn of a head of a young woman with a big hat and a feather maybe and a braid. And she's smiling and looking off this way. Those would be the two eyes, the nose, and kind of her smile and her chin and her neck. Maybe you see it too. Again, if you see something else, let me know in the comment section below. All right, and here we go. Again, this beam, this sky beam, we'll just call it in the void or shadow beam. So the sun is setting somewhere. We've got cloud activity in front of it, but that's not what's causing the beam. Yes, there's a cloud here, but that's not causing this beam. So it implies there's some kind of object in front of the sun doing this. again, if you have any thoughts on that, let me know. And if not, research around and look at other sky and earth observation channels and formulate your own opinion about what's going on. All right, here's another red-orange west at sunset sequence. I'm not going to say too much about this. I'll just let you have a look. But look at this, how strange. We've got this fiery effect at the sunset. We've got this really strange dark cloud activity. And look at the clouds even seem to part as if this thing is moving in. Really strange. Strange cloud here. It looks like a triangle down here. You got to follow my cursor. I hope you can. Here it looks like a triangular, maybe a cloaked craft back in there sailing through down toward the lower right of the photo. Again, weird activity happening here with this cloud to the right, and like a disturbance up in here as if something is cloaking. So have a look on your own. Maybe take a screenshot so you can zoom in and out as you wish, and check things out for yourself too. All right, here's just one enlargement from that sunset sequence. This one looked like a huge triangle to me, so I know it's cut off a bit, but it was a triangular shape. It was massive. This looks like something here too. Could be Cloaking Craft, possibly. All right, now here's the sunrise sequence. I'm just calling it gray blanket muted red pink orange to glaring white at the east. So the upper left photo starts off the sequence. It's really muddied, but you can tell there's some reds and pinks happening beyond. And then as things go, keep going, we've got this it looks like a very artificial cloud happening, dark gray blanket that just covers any hope of our seeing the actual ball or effect of it coming up out of the horizon. And then we move into all this hazy, non-coincidental, laced, hazy atmosphere. So again, we're not going to be able to see exactly what's going on with the sun. Do note that that is not normal. That's very abnormal, in fact, that, it's been happening consistently. But do note that there are deliberate attempts to obscure the sun, and for very good reason. There's a lot going on with it. I talk about it in previous shows, and actually in the previous 2 shows, in fact. Please go have a look there. I'm not going to repeat that right now in this show. I'm sure it will come up again in a future one. But things are happening with the sun that are being deliberately hidden from our view, and go have a look at there and go see why if you're not familiar already at what I'm hinting at. And also look at other YouTube channels that cover it. Okay, in the right-hand photo, lower right, I just captured later at 3:40 p.m. the same day, because as you see, we go from white glaring, which I can't even see the ball of the sun at my 7:05 shot, to just this white artificial-looking glaring ball. But the clouds started to look a little strange, and I took another photo here. It just looked too strange not to capture a photo of. I think you can agree. I mean, look at this. It looks more like an abstract painting than any like real nature shot with our clouds that we know of, from decades in the past. Look at this. This is just strange little pieces. And then I can't even, really tell you what's going on here. Normally I can. All I can say is, to me, right off the bat, it just looked like some kind of craft, like puttering out some exhaust. I know that doesn't really make sense in the world of spacecraft and whatever else, but it just looked odd. Then here you go. I just changed the contrast and color and zoomed in just to see if we could get any more clues of what the heck is going on. Got a little weird cloud form there, here. Like, nothing about this is like typical, let's just say. Looks really odd. Like, here we have a rectangular shape. This could be a rectangular part of a triangle. So I zoomed in. Sorry, I didn't zoom in. I changed the contrast and colors even more, from here to the upper right-hand corner, just to try to pull something out and see what's going on in there. Couldn't really get much of a better idea, other than there's this massive darker form happening behind this thing. So I don't know if this is just camouflage for what's happening beyond, or these two somehow belong together, or really the object of interest is just this thing in front and this thing. I don't know, but there's too much strangeness happening in here not to have documented this and shared it with you. See what you think. Again, when I put high contrast on it in the upper right, it just distills down to these two forms in this weird little, like, puttering out of smoke or vapor or plasma, whatever that is. See what you think with that. All right, now here, 2 bottom photos are the originals. More appearance of the sun here on the left, and on the right a little less as the cloud is going through. But a lot of times when the cloud passes over, it's a very revealing time of what's going on with the sun. So when you look up, just translate upward on each photo, you'll see what's happening with high contrast and changing the brightness. Here I see like what's we're coining as a second or third sun these days. Again, please visit my previous 2 shows. I talk about what those could be, these orbs happening right near the sun. They're becoming more and more apparent every day, even just with regular, phone cameras. So here we go. Looks like an appearance of a sphere here. When I look in the right-hand photo, a little bit more evidence of it. And I do believe something's happening off to the right as well, but it didn't really pick up in this photo, but it did in my previous 2 shows. All right, now we have an orange, red, pink west at sunset sequence again. This one happening on a different day on July 13th. Now this one's weird because look in this one, look at these clouds. They're all happening in the same plane pretty much relative to each other. But yet this stays white, this is pink, and these are gray. So what's going on? Do we have a beam happening up here and these are in shadow? Are these their own entity or animal and just decided to be a darker color? To me, it's got to be more like a beam is shooting up because it looks like even gray here, and that this is just highlighting the colors. But again, why? It just seemed very odd. In the right-hand photo here in the middle, again, actually this one looks dark here, but the overall beam looks like it's happening here, like a split screen. See, to the left looks all in shadow, and the right looks more lit up. What's causing that? That's my question of the day to you. The right-hand side, upper right, here looks like a triangle is trying to form there in the wisps. And again, just noting some odd activity. This looks really smudged out, so I'm not sure if this overall thing is something trying to cloak up in here. I'm not sure. But again, I leave that to you to have a look at a little more on your own. Oh, in the middle bottom photo, that's just a helicopter. All right, now happening to the opposite direction of what I just showed you in that sequence. I'm just calling air spirits. I do cover in a previous show with pink air elementals in the title. I talk all about wisps, air spirits, or some people call them sylphs, just very kind of spiritual looking cloud formations that seem to be more elegant and different than any artificial cloud or typical cloud, let's just say. So go have a look around there if you want more information. Now on the left photo, it just looked to me like either a peacock or a swan with a crown or something looking up. See if you see that too. And usually when there's been wisps, I noted on a previous show, there also seems to be a geometry, a symmetrical geometry in the sky nearby. And I give you some things to look at about that in my previous show. I won't go into it again now, but for time's sake. But down here in the lower right, I see a triangle formed, and also up here in the left-hand photo, it seems like the outline of one. So see what you see in these photos. If you have any fun ideas about them, let me know in the comment section below. Okay, now on a different days, well, different day and days, on the 7th and the 10th, we have on the left, which looked like a dragon to me, and on the right, it looked like a hybrid, like the face is a, could be a vulture, the body a parrot, and the wings maybe, or maybe it's just a phoenix. See what you see, and let me know in the comment section below. All right, this is a very odd cloud form. To me, on the left, it's the same cloud form, just like a split second later from each other. But it looks like a very well-fed dragonfly heading down with the wings to me. Just look at all this texture, very strange. So to me, this must be some type of cloaking craft activity happening within here, like either down here and here or beyond here. I'm not sure. Also, look at like this other worldly light seems to appear, from just beyond it. It's just very strange. See what you think. All right, more strange clouds and also potential for cloaking craft with a question mark. So the upper left-hand photo, I think it's obvious why I took it. There's all types of different cloud activity happening in one place. This looked like it was starting to form a ring. Lower left-hand corner, this whole thing starts to develop a little bit more. And bam, we have like a very clear shape of either like an angel or a dragon. Here's the face or arms and the face of like a merman or a mermaid. With the tail, like coming over to what looks like a poodle, the profile of a poodle with the nose and the mouth open and the fluffy hair on top, fur. Anyway, it just looked very curious. Then on the right-hand side, I have, what is this? I mean, look here, just above the tree where my cursor is. What is this? I mean, the cloud form in itself, the white one, was strange enough, but what's cutting it, like in shadow right there? So I had to zoom in the upper right. You'll see it looks like an object. So to me, that's a craft trying to cloak or hide in there. I don't know if that's interdimensional or a physical thing, but look at it. It's got structure to it and symmetry. So to me, that's definitely craft. I don't know whose, or if it's human or ET or combo. Have no idea if it's physical, interdimensional. You look and decide and see what you think and feel on that one. This too down here, this like broad horizontal shape, to me that could also be cloaking craft. All right, so I'm going to zoom in on that angel, mermaid, merman, dragon, you decide, form. Usually when something is so specific and so odd like this, like really, what I want to say, really obvious about it, really exaggerated is the word I was looking for, It means like usually something's cloaking in there, whether it's a huge overall thing cloaking or little bits and pieces or both. It's hard to tell sometimes. So the next frame I zoomed in, changed the contrast, and really changed the brightness to try to pick out what's going on in there. So I do see kind of, these darker purple areas and green show me that could be objects, and even down here a bit. And it also highlights shapes. So down here it looked like a triangle with some cloud disturbance behind it. This had just some weird shape. This could be a pentagon hiding in there. It was hard for me to tell. This had, kind of like a arrow or crescent spade shape in the front. Then there was like a long line here. So I don't know if these are connected by, like a long rod type thing, or if they're two separate entities. I'm not sure. But have a look on your own, see what you think is going on in there. Oh, also just this void shape could also be something like interdimensional craft or cloaking craft. See what you think. Okay, here's another one along the same line of thought. Bottom photo is the original. Now again, looking, we've got clear clouds here, but then a huge fuzz out happening here. So at first I just noticed the fuzz out happening where my cursor is in the middle, but then you got to kind of zoom out and look at the big picture. So here it does, when you look at the edges of the fuzz out, it looks like a pointed ellipse or a lemon shape, and I've been picking those up a lot in my previous shows. I talk about pointed ellipses. There's something to that. Anyway, to me, that's either a larger cloaked craft or cloaking craft. But then you see some, definite structure happening in here. So I went to the photo above, is zoomed in and enhanced. And again, within that lemon-shaped thing, I see, this could be a diamond shape or rhombus shape form. This clearly has structure to it, more triangular. These could be ships or crafts as well. Then there's stuff happening back here. And look at that bright object, could be something. This darker line could be something. So just have a look in there and see what you think. These, especially to the right of the photo, are really odd, forms to me, creating shadows. See what you think that might be, what might be going on there. All right, more on that theme of strange clouds and maybe cloaking craft with it. Right-hand side is the original photo. Nothing changed about it. Just a zoom in on some clouds. But look at this. What is that, like Aladdin's lamp or like a elf's shoe? I don't know, but it's just really strange. Look at this. We don't know clouds like this in decades past. And I zoomed in the upper left. Look at this. It looks like worm-like things, snake-like things happening in there. Very, really odd. Over here too, has all that character to it. I haven't seen that before. If you have, by all means, let me know in the comment section below. All right, here we go. Another overall cloud form that just didn't seem right. Look at this. Or just not usual, let's just say. No right or wrong, just strange. And then to the lower right, that brought my attention to this. It looked all like, again, a kind of a fuzz out, kind of the disturbance and cloud that you would expect if something were arriving interdimensionally or cloaking, uncloaking. So look to the right here. I noticed some structure happening, so I zoomed in, changed the contrast color, a few other things, and look, here we go. That to me has definite structure. Looks like a very flat disc with something, happening over here. See what you think is happening there. All right, and then one more, I think, on the Cloaking Craft issue. Look at this. I see very dark, dark black specks happening. I've seen a few of these lately happening at sunrise and sunset times. Be on the lookout for these if you are watching the skies. Just, it just looks odd. Looks like something might be cloaking beyond there and maybe even back here too. And again, this was a notably red beam, happening at sunset. All right, another sunset shot to illustrate that dark, obscuring gray cloud blanket that moves in like a wall to obscure our view at sunset and sunrises. And I'd like to close on a note of nature. This time it's the white ibis, and they are wading birds, and they are the most abundant wading bird in the Everglades. And there's a lot more interesting information on these guys, so I'm going to refer you to the site below that I've noted. But they are moving more and more into some of the urban neighborhoods, and they search for food in the lawns. And you can tell when they have been like grubbing around for food because their beak is a beautiful orange, but about half of it turns like muddy when they've been rooting around and probing in the ground. And here in this photo you can see good evidence of that. So it's nice and orange, and then half of it turns muddy because they're looking for food. And the adult ones are white, and then you can tell the juveniles are under 1-year-old group has brown feathers and of course a little bit smaller. So anyway, that's just for you to enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this show, and it is Thursday, so I hope you are looking forward to a beautiful weekend ahead. and above all, are enjoying your now, right now, wherever you are. So best wishes always. Have a beautiful day or evening ahead. Take care, everyone. Lavender Sky Panther. Bye.